Now, the road to 2028 runs through Long Beach. This next Fireside Chat brings together city and port leadership to discuss the investments, partnerships, and vision that can ensure the 2028 Games leave a lasting legacy for residents, businesses, and our future generations. This Fireside is led by Matt Petersen and features Dr. Noel Hacegaba, CEO of the Port of Long Beach, and the Mayor of the City of Long Beach, Rex Richardson.
Thank you. Just a quick shout out to Commissioner Skinner. She's long been a leader on the environment and clean transportation. So thank you, Commissioner Skinner, for your leadership in the Senate and now on the California Energy Commission. Love that Southern California is beating the Bay Area in transit ridership per capita. Thank you for being with us, Mayor and Noel. Really excited about this conversation. I don't think people realize how many of the 2028 Games events are going to be in the LBC. And Long Beach is a leader in its own right on climate. Thanks to Mayor Richardson and to the Port of Long Beach. There's a lot you do, of course, with the Port of Los Angeles, jointly in the harbor ports to lead on clean transportation and goods movement. But I want to first turn to you, Mayor. Talk to us about what you've been doing to prepare and how, both as one of the world's leading port cities and a major city in our country, let alone Southern California, what you're doing to build on this momentum for your city and your residents.
All right, well, thanks, Matt, and it's good to see all of you here talking about continuing the tradition of leadership in our region on clean air and goods movement and transportation on this road to 2028. We see 2028 really as a rally point, not just for games and visitors and tourism, but for many of the goals and commitments that got off track during COVID. You know, we focused on things like pedestrian safety and Vision Zero. We focused on climate. And since 2020 and COVID, we sort of had to go back to the basics, save lives, focus on homelessness and housing. And then with the federal administration's attitude changing on climate, many of our climate goals haven't been prioritized. But we see this as an opportunity for our cities and mayors and our region to really recommit to what a truly livable region looks like. And so for Long Beach, we were very intentional in our engagement in 2028. We identified events, and we went after events that would highlight our city as a global coastal destination on the California coast. So most of the events that you'll see, they're outside, right? Like beach volleyball, for example. In 2024, that event was in front of the Eiffel Tower. Well, it's Alamitos Beach, and that'll be where blind soccer takes place. We have an arena, a climbing theater for sport climbing. Imagine 360-degree views of sport climbing and paraclimbing, folks racing up these walls, surrounded with views of the Queen Mary to our beautiful waterfront and all of that. It's going to be a moment that will elevate Long Beach and the region. So how do we leverage that moment to create real, lasting opportunities? So in terms of Long Beach and our way of our planning and preparing, we actually created our own roadmap. We rolled out a roadmap in 2024. We started in 2023 called the Strategic Roadmap for 2028 in Long Beach, which really asks us the question, how are we going to leverage this moment to achieve those goals and better livability, not just for the people who are visiting, but for the residents who live here and will continue to live here for many years. A major element of that strategic roadmap is our plan called Elevate 28. It's $1 billion capital improvement plan, not investing in temporary venues. It's investing in our beaches, our parks, our waterfront, our public facilities, leveraging this as a rally point to invest in the assets that we own. And the second part is we look regionally. I think this is an opportunity on housing. We have a new regional housing agency, LACI. I chaired that agency the past 2 years, and we're on track to deploy $1 billion toward new housing by 2028 and add additional capacity to prevent 5,000 additional people from becoming homeless between now and 2028 every single year. That's what we're doing on housing. And now we're pivoting to Metro. As you probably heard, I'm finishing my term as chair of LACI, and now I'm focusing now on Metro as the newest Metro board member. This is an opportunity for us to really create an Olympic moment for mobility. A lot of folks are talking about how to get tourists here into our cities without cars. We have a downtown right next to a port that is growing. How do we ensure that we can not only move people better, but continue to move cargo better to where they're not at the expense of one another in 2028. That only happens if we coordinate regionally and we invest now. That's the only way we can make that happen.
Thank you, Mayor. A lot of people don't realize this. I mentioned it yesterday, but bears repeating that LA still has the dirtiest air in the nation on many days in terms of NOx, smog-forming chemicals, pollutants. And one of the big reasons why is also a big driver of our economy, and that's goods movement. And Ports of LA and Long Beach have long been working on this, but Port of Long Beach has been also a long leader in advancing clean transportation and advancing clean goods movement. Noel, talk to us a little bit about the progress Port of Long Beach has made, and what are some of the big challenges you're looking to solve before 2028?
I'm happy to do so. And Matt, thanks for being here. Honored to join you and the mayor here. And as you can see, our mayor, very visionary, very passionate. And at the port, we're following his lead. As you pointed out, the Port of Long Beach is the original green port. This was a bold declaration that was made by our then Board of Harbor Commissioners back in 2005, when no one really knew what a green port was or what it would become. 20 years later, during the same time period that our cargo volumes have grown by 44%, every category of emissions has dropped to 98%, to the tune of 98%. And we're not done. We've got big plans. And we're using the same playbook that our mayor is. We're looking at things holistically. We have a new vision that we just launched in January. It's our 2050 vision. And basically, we plan to double our throughput to accelerate the economic engine that the Port of Long Beach is to the region, to the nation, and at the same time, build the port of the future, which has to be faster, more efficient, more resilient, and cleaner. And for the last 20 years, we have demonstrated to the world that you can grow green. But again, we've got a lot of work to do. You've been pointing this out, prior panels, prior speakers. And so here's what we're doing under the mayor's leadership. Just last November, the two ports, LA Long Beach, entered into a historic cooperative agreement with South Coast AQMD. That cooperative agreement not only puts us on a path to decarbonize, reduce emissions, and get us to zero emissions infrastructure faster with a true detailed infrastructure plan, but it means that the two ports are committing $40 million for investments outside the port. Now, inside the port, Long Beach alone is investing $3.3 billion in capital infrastructure over the next 10 years. That's what it's going to take to get us to our 2050 vision. But check this out. Even though most of that is going to happen inside the port, a lot of our focus is shifting cargo from truck to train. Now, what does that do for communities like Long Beach and the region? It means less trucks on the road. It means less congestion. It's faster. It's more sustainable. So over time, as our volumes grow, it's not going to compete with a lot of the passenger traffic and a lot of the passenger load that we as a region are going to have to contend with. And I'm super happy that our mayor is going to be on the Metro Board because, again, it's going to take that holistic, comprehensive perspective to get things done. And just like the Olympics, when it comes to freight, when it comes to transportation, when it comes to economic development, teamwork makes the dream work.
Thank you. Absolutely true. Mayor, I'm also board chair of Climate Mayors, and you're on the steering committee of the national organization. Our executive director's here. Mayor Locke Dawson is also involved in that steering committee. Of course, LA and what Long Beach does matters. Not just here, you had mayors from around the country for the U.S. Conference of Mayors annual meeting in Long Beach, and I know
that was a great party.
Yeah, I think it was. You had some great headliner artists you recruited to perform for all the mayors. Talk to us a little bit about, and then Noel, I'll turn to you on the same question, like all these investments you're making in infrastructure, in clean goods movement, in advancing zero-emission solutions. What does that mean for the residents and the local economy? I know you've also, we've now have, LACI has several startups that are based in Long Beach. Ampere is now at Long Beach Airport building its hybrid electric aircraft. And there's so many great things that are happening around Cleantech innovation and the green economy. Talk to us about how that brings long-term benefit to your residents and your businesses.
Sure. I think 2028 presents an incredible opportunity for us to really rally together. Unprecedented levels of collaboration, visioning, and we should leverage this global moment to create lasting impact across all of the categories of livability. And It sounds great. You can do Elevate 28, you can do Accelerate 28. There's so much stuff you can do just with 28, and we are leveraging all of it. So a few categories that we all think about. Let's start with economic activity and jobs. So we are the fastest growing space and aerospace cluster in America right now. A lot of that driven by innovation and clean technology like Ampere, like Jet Zero, like Ford's Electric Vehicle Development Center that is now designing and developing the new platform
Most people
of
don't know
electric
about
vehicles.
that. The
Okay,
Skunk
well,
Works for
maybe I
Long
should
Beach
tell them.
is awesome.
Okay, so we're an innovation hub for clean tech, and Ford has moved all their Skunk Works to Long Beach with a new advanced electric vehicle development center where they're designing a new platform for electric vehicle, all their electric vehicle production. Based on the innovation that's happening here, their entire assembly line model, and Ford created the assembly line, is changing to an assembly tree model at all their factories around the country based on what's being designed here. So this is creating a big boom economically for us locally. So we put a 2028 number on it. Let's accelerate to 8,000 new jobs by 2028 in advanced manufacturing and clean technology in our city. We already have mapped out 10,000. So to achieve 8,000 higher by 2028 is an achievable goal. We also are working with our port. We have a dynamic, visionary port CEO who I've called on him to lead a strategy called Anchor LB. And the premise of the strategy is the port has been known as a place where goods move through around America. 43% of all trade in America comes through our combined seaports. We need to now pivot to how we're known as a place where decisions are made. Every one of those companies that use our port to ship internationally, they all have North American jobs. How are we not becoming a center, not Chicago or not anywhere in middle America? Those North American jobs should be anchored in Long Beach and Los Angeles. How do we leverage this international moment where all the decision makers are coming to town to show off the advantage of having your decision makers, your vice presidents, your C-suites, all anchored here in our region? This is a huge opportunity regionally for economic development. Let's go to housing. We talked about 1 billion units regionally. Well, what does that mean for Long Beach? Long Beach, we're at 6,000 units entitled. How many of those can we have built by 2028? I think about half. We can get about half of them built and open by 2028 in housing. We talked about homeless prevention. How can we expand our capacity using our new tools to prevent homelessness, prevent more people from slipping into homelessness between now and 2028, an attainable goal, not saying eliminate or eradicate homelessness by 2028. That's not possible. It's not realistic. But how many people can we prevent through renter aid, through direct subsidies, LA County Measure A? Let's go to climate. There are things we can do locally while we have the global attention to show that we're serious about it. Start with our fleets. We are moving, our goal is to have 16 refuse vehicles, all electric by 2028. It is to have 250 all-electric vehicles within our fleet in 2028. We are at the southern end of two rivers, LA River, San Gabriel Valley River. And whenever it rains in any of your cities, everything flows down to Long Beach. How about we set a goal, in which we have a goal, by 2028 to put trash interceptor barges at the systems at the ends of both rivers to keep our coastline clean, not just for tourists who come here, but for the people who continue to use our waterfront for generations to come. We can set solar goals. We have set solar goals. There's so many things that we can do, from economy, goods movement, and Noel can talk about that, climate and housing by 2028 to really create a more livable a region. So I call this our Olympic moment for 2028, right? How do we re-envision and renegotiate the covenant that we keep on our communities? Anytime there's big ideas, we always allow our bureaucracy to slow us down. This is the one unique moment we have by 2028 to renegotiate that covenant with our communities across all of these different topics.
Thank you. We're seeing it in LA. We're seeing in Long Beach. We just had a panel earlier about how LADVP is using the games as a way to remove some of their internal barriers to getting charging projects done and online. And by the way, we should work to get Jim Farley here next year and talk about what he's doing in your great city.
We certainly should.
The new EV trucks. No, like, what do you? The mayor talked about this a little bit, but like, Port of Long Beach is a bit separate and apart from, where people go walk and, ride their bike or visit. It's not the place you go to the small business, but obviously it's closely tied to the community. How do all the investments that Port of Long Beach are making on zero emissions, how does that impact and benefit the community?
Yeah, and it's changing. As the mayor said, we're taking a holistic approach, looking at ways to leverage the port and its positive economic impacts, not just on the community, but on the economy, how we can leverage that to bring economic development opportunities to the city. For example, Anchor LB, which the mayor mentioned, we're in the process now of acquiring a commercial real estate building. So if anyone needs any office space in beautiful downtown Long Beach, please see me after the panel. I'll give you a nice rate. But here's the thing, and I like what the mayor said there at the end about this is our moment. With Elevate 28 and all the concerted effort and energy behind what we're doing and planning towards this, Long Beach is not just going to meet the moment, but we're turning this moment to momentum. Because like the mayor said, we're not just stopping at 2028. At the port, our goal line is 2050. So we're going to continue pushing on the accelerator to accelerate the transition to zero emissions. And I would also say this, that our commitments that we deliver to the community to reduce the impacts of port operations, that's our license to grow. The community will continue to support our growth to the extent that we can demonstrate to them that we are improving their quality of life. Yes, we're creating jobs. We're continuing to support 1 out of 5 jobs in Long Beach, 3 million jobs across the nation, but we're reducing those impacts. And the more we can coordinate, the more we can collaborate, city and port, with the region, our regional partners, the more we can get there faster.
Thank you, Noel. I know.
Elevate, accelerate, collaborate, activate by 28.
Let's
I
go.
just came up with that.
I love it.
That right now.
For the 8s, let's 8. You talked about commitments. We just wrote a State of the City speech right here. You talked about commitments, Noel, and when we were doing the prep call, we talked about this, and we have several commitments to action being announced today and yesterday. And you talked about a lot of things you want to deliver, Mayor. What commitment to action do you want to make here to share with this community and invite? Because it's going to take collaboration, like you said. It takes us all working together to make this all possible. So I'll turn to you first, Mayor. Anything you want to throw down the gauntlet around a commitment to action?
I think I threw like 10 of them
I know. Anything else? I don't. Come on.
I've been playing with this card because I didn't want to forget any of them. So let me see. All right. So we did ocean cleanup. We're definitely going to do
ocean
the
cleanup.
barge.
Yep.
Right. Hold me to that. We're going to deliver that barge by 2028.
Pretty cool.
Right.
It's a young Dutch man that started that. Yeah.
The system. 2 systems. LA, San Gabriel Valley River. Because, we have marathon swimming in Long Beach. That is a huge opportunity to tell the story of how we've improved our water.
Yeah.
That used to be the water you didn't want to swim
Exactly.
in. Now we have all A's and B's during the dry months, all A's and B's on every beach in Long Beach and all of our waterways. In the wet months is where we have problems, because in the wet months, everything flows. We have multiple watersheds that head to Long Beach, and we have to prepare for the wet months. And these systems, they take the top 3 to 6 meters and pulls all the debris out. And now you just have to focus on the dredging of the deeper stuff. But 3 to 6 meters on our rivers, that does a lot.
Yeah.
And we have sea turtles. We got to protect the sea turtles. Anyway, so there's a lot we can do on water quality, on air quality. The biggest thing we can do is make sure that our collaborative agreement between the 2 ports and AQMD, which is a 5-year plan, will be 60% of the way through by 2028. Make sure that actually happens and we get that money out of the door. I think our Olympic moment on mobility, reimagine trains and air mobility and buses and all of those things. Sure, I get it. We're gonna need a lot of buses. I get it. I'm not excited for that. I'm excited for reimagining how we get from Long Beach to Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Right. How do we create real connections? I'm excited about the Blue Highway, of taking the ferry from Santa Monica and Malibu and all along the coast of Long Beach. It probably takes just as much time as it would take to get on Sepulveda or the 405 in rush hour, if not less time.
What an amazing way
I'm excited for
if
that.
we could do that.
And then leveraging this opportunity culturally, socially, and economically to create lasting impact. This will be, for Long Beach, a lot of times as mayor, I'll just end with this because I threw a lot of goals out, but I'll end with this. As mayor, you have to address those immediate needs or you won't be mayor long, right? Like you got to address homelessness and crime and all those things. But you also have to spend a lot of your time thinking about 50 and 100 years into the future. And I'll tell you, the large job centers in our city right now, I don't know if they're going to be where they are in 100 years. Our largest public employer is public education. Long Beach State, Long Beach City College. I don't know people are going to procure public education the same way in 50 years. That'll be the same job center. And our largest private employer is Long Beach Memorial Hospital, and healthcare has been under constant attack my entire adult life, and it isn't the job center. If that just continues, I don't know that they'll be the job centers that they are in 50 years. But I'll tell you what and we should fight for them because we believe in public education and healthcare. But the few things that I think will be here in 50 and 100 years that we should think about in this moment: trade with the Pacific is not going anywhere. We're going to double by 2050. How do we make sure that the port is clean, it has jobs, it's not a port with no jobs and no employees? If there's conversations on automation, make sure you have manning and that these are jobs out of those ports, and make sure it's zero emission. Get there as fast as you can. Second thing, we have a very Long Beach. We still gonna have a Long Beach in 50 and 100 years. It may look different if you believe in climate change. The peninsula may have some challenges, but we're still gonna have a Long Beach. How do we make sure we have a iconic coastal destination with tourism and culture so it creates economic opportunity? And the last thing that I would say that I believe is there, I think once we touch flight, we never look back, right? Well, now it's the age of space. And as infrastructure is developed out in space, we're never going to look back. And right now, with what's driving our advanced manufacturing boom is space. Space and defense. Everything in space is related to defense. When the C-17 pulled out of Long Beach, we thought that was the end of aerospace, and it's not, right? We've seen thousands of jobs. I think in the next 50 and 100 years, how do we strategically leverage West Coast, because we have better climate than Florida and others, as recovery operations, as strategic bioscience and medicine related to space, as innovation related to space? Those are the decisions that need to take place right now.
Wow. Thank you for leading, Mayor, and helping the whole region win the gold medal on the road to 2028. Noel, thank you as well for your leadership. And looking forward to talking more about the commitments to action that the Port of Long Beach are making and to achieve by 2020. Please join me and give a huge round of applause for this panel.